Yes. So welcome everyone. Welcome again to this online meeting. The first will be a short introduction, and then afterwards, please feel free to speak. So all there is the unknown, which is the natural fulfillment. This natural fulfillment doesn't have any meaning. It's not a certain state, a happy state, a certain spatial peace of mind, no thoughts. It's just natural fulfillment is what is. It has no idea of itself. It has no idea of what is fulfillment, what is unfulfillment. So it is just what is, what apparently is. Without knowing itself, it doesn't have any idea of itself. It has no self-consciousness. That is all there is naturally fulfilled. But this fulfillment, naturally fulfilled, is not a certain good experience which can be known, which can be reached. It is just blindly, innocently, without knowing itself being fulfilled. It has also no idea of what is unfulfilled. Because to feel that there is unfulfillment, it takes separation. It takes separation from what is. So this natural fulfillment doesn't have any name. So it's nameless. So it can have any name, any name. It doesn't have any shape, it's shapeless. So then it is any shape. It doesn't have a certain shape, this fulfillment. Naturally, effortlessly, this natural effortless fulfillment doesn't have a certain shape, certain condition. So it's any shape. Any shape is this natural fulfillment. This any shape could be your name, could be the face, the emotions, feelings, thought, anything. This room, this computer, this meeting, any feelings, what you are feeling now. So whatever is seemingly happening is the natural fulfillment already. Nothing is separate from it. There's nothing inside of this, what is seemingly happening. What is happening is just unknowable. There is nothing separate, nothing apart from what is happening. So this message, which has been sharing, is absolutely, it is utterly direct and simple. Simple in a way, it goes beyond the mind, beyond logic. What mind can comprehend. It is even directer. It's more direct and simpler than comprehension. It's just direct. Clapping of the hands, blinking of the eyes, moving of the fingers, arising of the thoughts and emotions, whatever. It is that already. It is not that in terms of this, which is not yet. This is just everything. This and that just has no meaning. They lose their meaning simultaneously. So nothing, this natural fulfillment is everything, is all there is. Nobody can get it, nobody can lose it. Because there's no distance, there's nobody outside of it, nobody inside of it, just centerless, blindly, what is, effortlessly. Even making effort is what apparently happens effortlessly. Even making effort happens effortlessly. All what is just effortlessness itself, which is a natural reality, including making effort. So this sense of lacking is born out of separation. But this separation, it takes two to be separate, but this separation is simply an illusion. So this sense of lacking, which is based on separation, it has absolutely no reality. The seeking for fulfillment is already fulfillment itself. So whatever it seeks, it's always fulfillment. It's only fulfillment. There's no final arrival of seeking from unfulfillment towards or to fulfillment. Whatever is happening, including seeking, is fulfillment itself, but without anyone experiencing it, because there isn't anyone. There is simply no one can do it, because there is no one at the first place. So that was the introduction. So please feel free to speak if you wish.
If I was to communicate this, the killer is that there isn't a communication, and I'm not communicating anything.
It's again some clash.
Hi, May.
Hi, hello, you.
Can I just ask a question? I wonder how would you respond if somebody said to you that this message is just another belief? It's like a religious belief or a belief.
Yes,
I wondered how it differs
yes.
from beliefs.
Yes.
I mean, I don't sort of mention this to friends very often, but if I did, I can imagine.
Yeah,
They might
yes.
come back with that sort of remark.
It's a belief. Yes, people who saying this, they are basically from this point of separation, from the position of separation, because from the position of separation, whatever it hears, it turns into something as an object, because it assumes experientially, it assumes itself being subject. So when it hears anything, it turns automatically into some belief or some kind of some kind of standpoint, because it has its own standpoint already kind of already has having its own standpoint. And from this standpoint, of course, to whatever it hears, it can say, oh yes, I believe it. It makes some sense to me. Or I don't believe it. I can't understand it as an object. So it's like when they see the speaker and they go, oh, you are kind of holding some standpoint. It's the same. People will say that they turn even this into some kind of belief, like there is no me, but this is not a standpoint. There is no me, but there's no other way they could hear this from the position of separation. So it's like, oh, you are, I have to believe there is no me or not.
Right, but couldn't they say that not having a standpoint is itself a belief?
Even that, yes. From this standpoint, they think, or they can change view of, or they think they could change a kind of view of seeing things. It's still always, as long as there is this separation, there's always this is separate, standpoint automatically. It turns everything it hears into an object, because the subject is already in place, but which is absolutely illusory. The subject.
Yes, I see.
Yes.
I see.
So yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
yes, you're welcome. At the Chinese meetings, some people at the beginning, they also say, so you are kind of, you stick to this point of there is no me. Why you have to stick to this point? There is no me, like an extreme point. And we should try to go to the middle point, like
Right.
because that is too extreme, that you only, you go to the radical, radical, holding on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. This separation itself, separation itself is the very unfulfillment. So wherever this separation goes, it touches only unfulfillment. So the seeking out of this unfulfillment, separation, whatever it seeks, it turns anything into unfulfillment. It's like there's this, you have this magician, whenever he touches the stone, it turns into gold. So whenever this separation touches, it turns into unfulfillment. So no matter how hard it seeks, it's only unfulfillment. Fulfillment is not some result. It's not any result of or the following of something, some efforts or whatever. Fulfillment is the natural reality. It's blindly, innocently, effortlessly fulfilled, but without knowing the definition of fulfillment. Without knowing the meaning. So in that sense, fulfillment has no meaning. Has no direction.
Hi.
Hi.
In the introduction, you said it takes two to be separate, and I thought about it would be a nice bitter love song, a title of a bitter love song.
A bitter laugh.
A love song.
A love song.
Yeah.
It takes two to separate. Yeah. I mean, in the normal, it takes two to be one.
To be separate. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah. That's indeed interesting. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
There's an expression in English, which is "it takes two to tango."
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Which, in that case, is of supposed unity, or at least two people unified in one.
Yeah.
Okay, your version is the opposite, the cynical opposite of that.
Yes.
It takes two to separate. Or other way, it's the same. It takes separation to be two.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. It's such an agony for the individual, even when the individual is tasting fulfillment. And when it's tasting fulfillment for a while, at the same time it knows this will become, it's already immediately there is pain. Even when it is tasting, it is enjoying, somehow it knows this will become. So it's already the starting of suffering, of missing.
But May, the thing is that the at the moment that one is tasting fulfillment, knowing it, of course, when you think about it a bit, the fact that it will be gone is what gives meaning to the pleasure of that momentary pleasure of fulfillment. I mean, if you accept that there is this flow, you know, mountains and valleys in your life, you know, the extreme pleasure of a moment of fulfillment only makes sense to a separate person.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes.
Non-fulfillment.
Yes.
So,
you know, even in that, at that moment when the person, so to speak, is enjoying that moment, it somehow emphasizes, you know, the finite of what everything is for me. And there is, at the same time, there's such a longing for infinite, you know, for lasting forever. There is already a sense of loss. But this will become.
but I imagine that there are sort of wise people who've thought about that a lot and have concluded that that's the way life is.
That is that is because, you know, for the individual, that moment when it takes itself without, I mean, it's not from the mind, not intellectually taking itself being real. Experientially, it is its own experiential reality. And in this reality, time is real, of course. And then it comes immediately. Things will be coming and going. Nothing will be there forever. So it suffers tremendously because of this coming and going. And then this one of the teachings one of the teachings is, you know, because it's coming and going, don't take it as real. That is one of the way to relieve the pain, relieve the suffering of this individual. Don't take things which are coming and going as reality, as if this could be a way out of suffering. For a little while, it tries, you know, don't take things which are coming and going as a reality. That's why, that's one of the reasons they say, because things are coming and going, so they are not real. Like kind of evidence of nothing is real because they're coming and going. But for individual, coming and going are real happening, coming and going. That is very, it is its own experience. It experiences coming and going. And then it tries not to take it as reality. Still, this individual is trying, not taking things real, trying very hard against its own experience. So,
Hi, May.
Hi, Mark.
So what then brings about the end of the illusion of unfulfillment, the unnatural reality of separateness and individuality.
Mm.
What causes that to collapse, or
What brings, well, where is the final, how to get that final point? Wherever
yes.
you are, whatever position you think you are standing to speak this or that, or think in a certain way, exactly where you are speaking, where you are speaking from, is what is it already? Is it wherever you are speaking, wherever you are standing? So there's no distance. Fulfillment, the natural fulfillment, has no location. It has no center, it has no location. So wherever you are is the location of fulfillment. But that's, when will it end, this sense of separation? This there couldn't be ended. There's no way to end it, because even this because the beginning of this separation, the paradox is the beginning of this separation doesn't happen. It's totally an illusion. So it cannot be ended.
Well, can one become disillusioned with it?
The dissolution is a natural reality already, effortless, unconditional. What's that word? Dissolution is already the case. Dissolution is already the case. There is already no illusion. There's simply just no me. The sense of separation, unfulfillment, apparently arises totally out of illusion. Something doesn't exist. This sense arises out of something never really exists. Nothing serves the serves fulfillment to get. Nothing serves to reach fulfillment, because there is only fulfillment, which is what is the unknown. The unknown isn't some object separate from you that you cannot reach. There's nothing else there is simply nothing else than the unknown, what is. Nothing else. No you, no me. Separation never happens. Never. There isn't a me who has got rid of separation, and there is a you who still has to. There is just, in the first place, no separation. Not in the sense you, me, we are one, we are all one, we are the same, we are equal. There's just no you and me. There's just no one another.
So what you're saying, May, is that any question that begins with when is
When
always a
or
question.
how?
Is always a question from separation.
Yes, that implies I'm not there yet. When will it be? And how will it be? Yes, it's already from this assumed illusion.
Hi, May.
Hi.
So there has never been a separation.
No.
But it,
Separation in the sense of some separate awareness or a subject object.
Mhm.
That something is apart from what is.
Yeah, when I think about it, then nothing is apart from what is. It's always what is apparently happening.
Yes, yes, which is the unknown.
Mhm.
Because when there is no subject, what is happening, what is not happening, how can anyone know? There is no subject to know if there is anything happening or not.
Mhm.
So this wonderful word, apparent, comes to describe it. Apparent also apparently just means it is and it is not simultaneously. From the position of separation, it is either it is or not. It can't be is and isn't. simultaneously. It can't. It has to be one way or the other from the separation, from the place of separation, from separation. By saying things just happens, apparently, it's the same, means the same as saying all there is the unknown.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like a little bit scary too.
Scary is for there is the sense of me not knowing what is going on, kind of, I do not know. It remains unknown for me, unknowable for me. That feels, it could be scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that is unknowable for me. Still this subject object, this experience.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Thank you.
I may. It seems to me that you're making a distinction between happening and changing. Because if you say that, when there's no sense, when there's no knower, nothing happens because there's nobody to know.
No, I didn't say when there is no knower, nothing happens. I mean, when there is, because there is no subject or no knower, then there's no way to know what is really happening or not. So there's this, then it comes this, is this just apparently happening? Yeah, apparently happening means it is and it isn't simultaneously.
When I was trying to make a distinction possibly between happening as something that needs a person to recognize it and change, I was thinking that
change is also what happens, apparent. Change of habit, change of mind, whatever, change of emotions. of health.
Yeah, I was thinking that, I mean, no matter what the self, the state of the self, the state of the conviction that there is a self or not, you know, when the weather changes,
Mhm.
the body registers, oh,
Yeah.
it was hot, now it's
Yes.
cold. Now I
It's
have to.
chilly. Yes, more clothes are putting on. That's
But
what.
are you reluctant to describe that change as something happening?
No. Why should I reluctant to? When the weather changes, when it's raining or when it's burning hot outside, the body responds to that, of course.
Well, the reason I thought you might be reluctant, I mean, I don't think you are reluctant, but is because that seems to me to be a change that
Change is just what happens. Yes.
can be experienced in the body and doesn't require any sense of a self.
No,
to be
never. It never. It's not like before. It required a sense of self, and afterwards it doesn't require anymore. The thing is, the sense of self, has never been involved in any kind of change whatsoever.
No. I that's why I'm reserving the word change for things that happen when there is no knower to know it.
There's always, I mean, there's never a knower. There wasn't a before and after difference. There wasn't no ending. Yes, there is never.
There can be an apparent knower.
No, apparent knower there is no apparent knower even. That knower is just, it's not apparent. It just does not exist, never. So there is no apparent knower. There's only apparent changing or happening, but no knower, never. There was never a knower.
Yeah,
apparent knower is the illusion.
Yeah. But I'm prepared to bet €10 that in this session there are a couple of people who think they know what they're doing listening to you. I mean, even though they subscribe to the idea that that sense of self is illusory, the fact is that they are under that illusion in a very powerful way.
I have no comment because there's just nowhere, no matter. So in that sense, powerful way or weak, very weak, doesn't make any sense. So, because there is no knower in the first place. There couldn't be a powerful, a sense of powerful knower. So the sense of powerful knower or sense of weak, weakness, there's just doesn't make any sense. No difference. You can't say there is a stronger illusion and there is a weaker illusion. Illusion just doesn't exist. It's not relevant to say it's stronger or weaker. It's not there anymore.
Would you be prepared to accept if I say a strong sense of self and a weaker sense of self? Or do you dismiss that also?
Yeah, this can be like in a story, apparently strong conviction. Yeah. But
no, after you've been in Lentas for a week, maybe your sense of self hasn't disappeared completely.
It's only in the story, of course. It's only in the story.
Yeah, it's always only in the story, isn't
it? Yeah, only in the story. Yes, by disappearing or collapsing, what turns out is there is no disappearing. That is, yeah, that is the paradox. By collapsing, by that very collapsing, turns out
that there's no collapse.
there's
Yeah.
no collapsing. That is, yes, there's no real collapsing. And it has always been like that. There is a very nice, how to say that? Maybe you all know that there's in this Zen, what's the word of the, anyway, there's this very well-known, very well-known saying. They say at the beginning or beforehand, you know, before the enlightenment or whatever, that is to see the mountains. To see the mountains as mountains, and then seeing the mountains, to see the mountains not as mountains. So there are three phases. So this was the second. First, see the mountains as mountains, and then see the mountains not as mountains. And then the final phase is to see the mountains as mountains. This, in a way, is very beautiful, very beautifully, just kind of describing a beautiful description of what I said, actually. So, at the beginning, as the individual, that's from the place of separation. The mountain, to see the mountains as mountains, so they are the reality. The mountains are really there, over there, as a reality. So that is to see the mountains as mountains. And then, second, in the middle is see them not as mountains. Actually, that means they are mountains. Apparently, they are apparent mountains, but they are empty of substantial reality. That so the mountains are not mountains. The mountains are empty. And then to see the mountains as mountains. That is, mountains are just apparent mountains, which means mountains are the unknown. So that's quite, I don't know if you have heard of this. First there is mountain, then there is no mountain, then there's mountain. Yes, that's, yeah. First there is mountain as reality, as me see the mountain because I'm the real, mountain is absolute real. That's a world. There is a world because there is me as reality. So the world is a reality. And then there is no world, no mountain, because the mountain is just the emptiness. And there is mountain. In the end, there is to see the mountain as mountain, just apparent mountain. That is, in a way, the description of collapsing of me. In Chinese, literally, it says in the end, there is still mountain. There's still mountain. First, there is mountain. There is no mountain. There is still mountain. The mountain is still the mountain. Just a few Chinese characters. So wonderful. By saying wholeness or fulfillment, it has already almost like already added some color, because this word wholeness, fulfillment, it has a color, it's like it has some taste of something is wonderful, something wonderful. Wholeness, it sounds so nice, wholeness, comparing to, something is lacking. But in this context, in this the natural reality, which is a non-dual, this wholeness or freedom or fulfillment, it doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't have any meaning of good or bad. Somehow this wholeness, fulfillment implies like something is wonderful, good. It's good to be whole and complete, to be fulfilled naturally. But this fulfillment, this wholeness, just has no meaning of good, anything good or bad. No terrible war, pain of the body, agony, physical pains, illness. All this is wholeness. All this is the fulfillment. I mean, it's like how could it be? Doesn't make sense. It's so against our personal experience. That being deadly ill is wholeness. But wholeness or natural reality that's more neutral is just whatever is happening, apparently. That's the freedom. It happens in any, I mean, it has no direction. It doesn't, whatever happens doesn't serve to some ultimate wonderful goal. It's just what is happening without knowing. Without knowing, it has no sense of good or bad. That is the ultimate innocence, which is the natural fulfillment, wholeness, which is what is. The way you are thinking, the way you feel yourself, the way you talk, the way you behave, the way you move, the struggles, the joys and sadness, frustrations, fear, all what is happening, but never to you. That is naturally fulfilled, naturally. That is a natural freedom. Doesn't belong to anyone and has always been like this. There's never a me or you. Nobody can lose wholeness or fulfillment because there is just nobody in the first place as subject to lose wholeness as object. There's only what is. There's only natural fulfillment, blindly, effortlessly, timelessly. Thank you, everyone. That was the meeting.
Thank you, Mary.
I stopped recording.